right. So, as everyone felt a little bit the theme of today, we are announcing that we are releasing Magic Sentiment today. So it's generally available for everyone. I know that I had a lot of partners that are also in this call that's been part of the beta. And now we're deploying this to everyone and we're adding a couple of nice features to it. So Magic Sentiment is out there. So I'm going to do a good reminder about what are the features related to Sentiment, talk about what are the places where we're going to find them, give an overview about how it works. And then I'm going to have Brian that is going to give the magic play, where it's going to be a little bit of a blueprint on how to really apply that in your day-to-day. So here, what's new in Magic Sentiment? We will have a way better way to have the insights to be actionable. So when the thread sentiments, for example, turns negative, we have a way that you can prompt Ask Magic to understand why that happens. You can see the reasons, a summary, and you can also get a suggested resolution. So it will craft a message based on the context and the tone of the user, the end contact that is frustrated, for example, and you can just copy paste that message directly. Some templates in flows. So there are pre-built templates that can help you track the sentiment changes and even have automated notifications in either Teams or Slack directly tied to a specific score that you want to be tracking. So we're going to go deeper on that too. So you can be always notified about when things go bad, but also when things go very well. I'm going to show a couple of ways that we have in Inbox on how to filter down views with sentiments, how to get insights and play with those filters. And I'm going to also give a quick overview about that we also are storing a company general sentiment based on all the threads that you've been receiving. So a couple of exciting things that I'm going to try to go through today. So just a quick summary here that I'm going to be showing. The sentiment feature now, it's going to be fully tied with Ask Magic. I'm going to be showing that in a second. The templates, the filters in views, the company sentiment, and one last announcement for next week is that Triage Agent will also be aware of the sentiment. So you can create prompts in the custom rules that are directly tied to the sentiment score that you're having, and you can change the whole experience happening with the triage. It can escalate, it can probably be more empathic. So there's a lot there. I'm going to show my screen for a quick demo. Taking over here.
Let's do it.
Sure.
And is Sentiment live for everyone now?
Yes. Sentiment is live for everyone. All right. So I will start this conversation here. Hello. I'm very frustrated that my laptop is still slow after you guys replaced it 2 times already. So my laptop is slow, it got replaced, it was still slow, it got replaced again, and it's still slow. So kind of a little bit over this back and forth. So in this case, let's find triage.
You're just referring to the 2 tickets in this view right now, right?
Yes, I'm going to use this one actually here that I just created. So as you can see here, I do have this contact that reached out. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit more. So as you can see, we have this new card here that it's giving me what's the sentiment. So of course, it detected quickly that the sentiment is bad. This is a new way that we're calculating the sentiment. We changed from the beta partners that are here that knew how it was working. Right now, it's way more reactive at the beginning of the conversation. So we are sure that we're not missing that bad or very good sentiment at first. And then slowly, we're going to be transitioning into a thread average of the score. But at least now, I'm able to know very quickly if something is going bad. So maybe I'm even getting a notification in Slack. In this case, I really want to be proactive. And
or Teams.
Yes.
I was saying in Slack or Teams. A lot of people use Teams.
Slack or Teams, exactly. So I want to be super proactive about it. I have this sentiment that is bad. I'm going to ask Magic why, what's going on here. It's already a prompt that is implemented. It looks like the user has repeatedly experienced the same issue. There are ongoing complaints about the performance. The user specifically expressed the frustration. Okay, let's suggest me some resolutions here. in that case, it will give me some guidance and some coaching about how to deal with this situation. There is a suggested message for the user here that I can already take and use directly here. So I always suggest people to read the messages from AI before sending them. In my case, I'm not doing that because it's a demo. So I'm truly sorry that your laptop is still slow after all the replacement. We understand how frustrating this must be for you. I'm going to take a deeper look and involve additional resources if needed to make sure we find a lasting solution. Thank you for your patience while we work to resolve this. So it's already in process. Ask Magic knows what tone to use. It has the context. At least right now, it's not only an information that you have, oh, the score is bad, but you can also take action, and Ask Magic is going to be helping for that. Another item that we added here is that if you don't want to miss any of those notifications, Ask Magic is going to suggest you to create a flow to get notified. I'm going to share this tab now. So I clicked on it, it opened a new tab. So I am able to, if I want, automate those notifications. So you have a flow. Those are templates that are available for everyone. What I can do is select what team I want to get those notifications or what channel, and I'm going to be getting some notifications as soon as one of my threads will hit this threshold here.
That's we have a great question. I mean, I love the new update so that it's more responsive to the original message than it was before. So will a flow automatically be triggered in this case on that message?
Totally. Of course, that's the goal. We want to be able to not miss any negative sentiment. So the fact that we're more sensitive at the beginning, you can get such an early notification about someone who's having a very bad experience with your service desk. So you can really jump on that super quick and not wait till it's kind of too late. All right. Moving here into a couple of interesting features that we have. So I talked about company sentiment. You have the score now that it's easily visible too. In the past, when we had the first version, we only had it hidden here. So it's still there if you feel like you want to explore more. So we have what are the threads that we got from this company in the past 30 days, and you have an average of that. If you want to just dig a little bit deeper, and again, you do have also in here in the right panel, what's the company sentiment. I'm going to just switch quickly here to views. As I said, we're also able to, we have two sentiment filters that we can add. It's either a range or a score. For the range, you can have different ranges that you can be tracking in one view. Something that is new is that we replaced neutral with good. We had a lot of conversation and analysis about it. So something that we've been seeing is that the average experience in a service desk is a good experience. So we expect that the minimum, the standard that the service desk is delivering to their end users should be a good experience. So it's never really in the polar opposites, meaning super good experience or very bad experience. What we're targeting here, we want to have a normal experience, which is a good experience. And we want you guys to optimize for the extreme. So when it's very good and when it's very bad, it's where we really take action. So this is how we're categorizing now the experience. And we wanted also to get a little bit far from the CSAT notion of when neutral usually it's like it has this negative connotation. I think I had a bunch of conversations with a bunch of you here in the call where we decided to actually move forward with this new way of categorization.
That's a funny emoji there. Maybe we should make it the straight face.
Yeah, it's a poker face that is happy, right? Yeah, we might have to include that one. What else I have? So in insights also, we do have sentiment filters. In this case, if I have, let's say, a view with way more, if I have a view with way more threads, you can actually have a good idea about what is the sentiment in your filters that you have there. Let's see here.
I just added you two in all threads there. Go into that view and you should see
that was
insights.
Awesome. I loved seeing that pop up in real time. You just got to get rid of the sub filter sentiment range is great. Yeah. And then
now you can use insights.
Yes. And then that was very cool to see popping up. Yeah, as you can see, most of them are good. And then there is like a few ones here that are bad, and how fast I can drill down. And as you can see, it's the guy that has the laptop issues. Cool stuff here. I'm trying to not move too fast, but this is very important. Just quick recap. You can filter in views by sentiment, and you can also use insights to get a good drill down into your views to know what's going well or what's going bad.
Man, I just need a page where I can pin all my insights. I love this. I love this. And
good.
so, I mean, would you say like you can create a view for all the negatives with maybe less filtering on it, but when you use a flow, you probably want to have a little bit more filters on it so Teams doesn't get too noisy? Is that how you think about the two different ways of keeping an eye out?
100%. Let me go to flows here. I'm going to share this tab instead. In flows here, you can really narrow down exactly if it's coming from a specific company. For example, you want to have a company that if that that company, it's been a little bit your troublemakers, and you want to make sure that when something happened for Acme, always send that notification to this like very important channel that we have, that when a message or notifications comes there, the whole company is like hands on deck, and you can like be really playing with that there. This is a more actionable
contact type is probably the awesome one. Like if you have a contact type for VIP,
totally. If you have a contact type for VIP, same thing. You can really make sure that those people will always be happy in a way that if something happens, you're gonna have your best technician taking care of that. Again, very powerful here. We have those filters available in flows today. You can be really specific in what you want to get notified for. You do have the views filters. You can have the insights there. And Ask Magic is just overpowered right now with sentiment. There are a few items that I can show here, is just little details where you can have depending on how many threads you had in the past, you can also go through your companies and see what is their sentiment here. And as you can see, I don't have a lot of threads for those ones, but I think after a few maybe weeks, you're going to be able to just go through companies here and see exactly what is their sentiment. So as long as you're getting threads, you're going to be building a sentiment profile for each company. So very good for QA in the future. I think if I go here and let's see, and if I have, yeah, as you can see, thread company, they're doing good here. And I think that's pretty much it for now. Last one, very easy way to navigate what is the sentiment in views too. We added the emojis, which you can see quickly spot if something is not going good, and you can jump on it and help Amin, for example, here. And yeah, I think
we love emojis. So I mean, there's a couple of questions coming in here. One from Josh. Can we see how it will update it if we provide positive experience? Will sentiment now work on all tickets, not just through thread?
Okay,
so sentiment, yes, will work on all threads.
Correct.
So if we can go into the assistive AI configuration page for sentiment and just go to the admin panel just to kind of get everyone familiar to how to turn this thing on, that would be great. We could go there.
Yeah, just a second. All right, good reminder here. So we do have sentiment in assistive AI section. All right, there we go.
There you go.
So in admin, we go to assistive AI, and you're going to have all your assistive AI features, and you're going to find sentiment as the last new one. For the newcomers here, we're going to be having a little pop-up notification to help you be able to track faster the sentiments. You can create the flow directly from here, and just make sure that this is on here. So when you turn sentiment on, we recommend just to have it for everyone and for all the sources that you consider important. Maybe, if you want to have some alert sources out of here, you can, but what we really encourage is that you turn that for everyone there. So it's part of your essentials. So everyone here should have access to sentiment starting today.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to hand off to Brian for some very cool scenarios. And yeah, see you later.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'll share my screen once more so we can just recap this real quick. So you should see my screen there. And effectively, if you go into a view, I'm looking at my all threads type view. I can hit insights at the very top right. From insights, I can like drill in, drill out, and slice based off sentiment from that one dropdown. And again, think of it as like any other like BI tool where you can drill in, drill out. You can see as I drill in, these subfilters are added to the view. FYI, these subfilters are only visible to you unless you go ahead and save to an existing view or create your own view. So that's how you can do that there. So real-time sentiment analysis, that is what we're showcasing today. It is real time. It happens instantly, which is super powerful. And let's talk about how to really escalate those big wins, those milestones, those exceptional service moments to your team. So that way we can celebrate those big wins. Okay. So, how do we do that? So, we do that through flows. And so, if you're not familiar, we have a couple things in the toolkit here. One of them is our Teams or Slack companion app. For those not familiar, our companion app is an app within Teams or Slack that is meant for internal use only, purpose built for MSPs to build flows and route those tickets that meet your flow filter criteria to various channels within Slack or Teams. So that way you get pinged and notified. And in fact, within those threads, you can actually collaborate within those threads. It bi-directionally sync back and forth between the PSA and thread. And then you can also reply back to the customer all within Slack or Teams there too, which is super powerful in itself. But the bottom line is we can redirect positive sentiment or the reverse to various channels. So that way everyone will be alerted on that. So really meeting your staff where they work. So you might not have like sales, marketing, working in the PSA, but you still want to celebrate those big wins, right? So there we have it. So if you don't already have the companion app enabled, go in there, turn it on for Slack or Teams, and then I would redirect you to recap, because what we're going to do here within flows is not just escalate those big wins to a channel, but we're going to run a recap template. So this is full on like a magic play. Yes, I'm going to trademark this. Think of it as a blueprint. Think of this as a playbook, something that you can use to fully reap the benefits of things like sentiment. So we're incorporating not only flows, but recap as well.
As Chief of Magic, I totally approve of the magic play.
Awesome. There you go. So it's happening. So we're going to go into recap and we're going to create our sentiment recap template. Now, I put together really quickly just an idea as to what you could do, but we're first fetching the sentiment because, again, this is all in our back end. So we should just be able to prompt the AI to fetch that straight from the ticket. And what's really cool is we can actually suggest follow-up actions within this prompt. So if positive, this is really where you're wanting to highlight those big wins. What went exceptionally well? Speed, empathy, clarity, teamwork. What went right? And then we can like potentially even like tag and recognize those technicians. Again, we expose recap and Magic AI with all of the context and conversation history. So we're going to be able to extract this. And context is king, right? And then we can share kudos internally and again, post that into a channel and celebrate together. So what would this look like? Just so you know, I'm just going to run this on any given thread right now, but you'll get a sense as to like what I'm incorporating into this recap template. Everything from overall sentiment. Okay, it's positive. What are the key indicators? What went well? sentiment trajectory, the suggested follow-up actions, maybe there's an opportunity to improve process. This is where we can leverage AI to kind of make a judgment call there. And then coaching tips. I love this part where you could effectively, if negative or neutral, or even on those positive experiences, allow the AI to nudge the technician in responding a certain way or giving them some really good coaching tips. Now, again, this isn't a really robust prompt that I put together in this last 15 minutes, but it just goes to show that you can do a lot with sentiment, right? And you can have that conditional framework built into your recap template. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, I want to
Now, how
pause
do
here for 1 second, Brian. How many of you folks have a two-step close process where you have a QA that tickets need to be QA'd by a team lead or a manager before you can close them out? This is excellent for this, right? It's so hard to go through all of those tickets. What you can do is when it's in that status, you can make this recap template that it's going to QA based on the sentiment, right? So you can say if it's in status in the flow, if it's in the status QA and the sentiment is very bad, then run this sentiment recap that it can actually give that advice to the technician right away.
exactly. So I saw something in the chat here. Jason's using Smileback currently. This could replace it. Yeah, quite honestly, you go through that two-step close, you close out this ticket or you resolve it. We can actually create a personalized CSAT. And because we're exposing sentiment to AI, it's able to like maybe you want to build into your template an ability for AI to generatively respond back appropriately with the right overall sentiment. So if it is poor, maybe go in with a little bit more empathy and understanding. Whereas if it is excellent, let's celebrate. Like, so these are things that we can incorporate. One thing that I will mention here before we get into the flow even is just a couple just high level things, just those new features that Amin talked about. Sentiment is actionable. You can ask Magic. It provides reasons, summaries, proposed resolutions. You can build this into recap templates, obviously, and then we have those flow templates readily available, which I'll get to in a second. Filters and views. We got company sentiment. One thing that we might not have mentioned here is obviously we have this where we can see overall company sentiment, but if you hover over the company within the thread itself, you can see the number of threads in the last 30 days appropriately. So some UI, UX kind of elements that we're throwing in there too. Now going back to this, sentiment is going to be added to Magic Agents, our agentic AI. So not just Magic AI or assistive bit with recap, but we're actually going to be exposing it to Magic Agents. And that's coming next week. And so really exciting stuff where the triage agent, for example, could then be able to interpret that sentiment and respond appropriately. So going back to, I can't remember who was saying it in the chat here, but this goes back to our conference a couple of weeks back, but context is key. Sentiment, service intelligence, knowledge, memory.
Context is king.
Context is king. And that's why we're feeding it all into not only our assistive AI, but agentic AI as well. So really cool things coming next week too, feeding sentiment to the Magic Agent. It's going to be great. Now, before I go even further, let's talk about the new calculation logic, because for those that have been already using the beta for these last couple of months, we changed the logic. I mean, touched on this obviously, but I just wanted to put this out in writing, a little bit more formal for you to understand. So when that ticket is first created, that contact, we receive that first note from the contact, we will start analyzing sentiment. And you've seen that in the live demo. After that contact sends that second message, we're going to set that ticket sentiment again. On that third message from the contact, this is when we're going to start averaging that sentiment out. So by that fourth or fifth message, we're still analyzing sentiment on every single customer interaction, which, by the way, Mark, how are we even doing this? This has got to be so costly. But the bottom line is we're analyzing sentiment on every customer interaction, and then we're averaging that out over the last 3 messages.
It is
So
costing a
that
lot. It's
it
every
is
single message we are processing through the LLM to get that sentiment score. So again, the service experience is the most important thing. We'll figure out the tokens.
yeah, we'll forget tokens, but that's just the real time prowess that we have, not only in sentiment, but inbox as well, right? That's where we're going with everything that we do. It's got to be real time so we can act on it, which leads me to our flows. So again, if you haven't already, go to Assistive AI, turn on sentiment, manage access, turn it on for all clients, select all sources. We don't care what source it is. We want to start analyzing sentiment, okay? This is not customer facing, by the way. You can make it customer facing through recap templates, of course, but I would just encourage you to turn it on for everyone. Now, here's the thing. What's next? Build that recap template. We'll drop into the chat here some recap templates for sentiment, but then we can go into flows. Flows. Once you're in here, go to templates. There's a tab up there. It's a little sneaky. And then if you scroll down here, we're going to have both positive and negative sentiment flows. I'm going to highlight positive sentiment because more often than not, we're not celebrating those big wins, and we want to do that today. So here we go. We already have those applied filters. Sentiment range is between excellent, 80 to 100, or 60 to 79. Now, again, we rate sentiment from 0 to 100, 0 being very poor, 100 being very excellent. And then from there, as I mentioned earlier, once you have that companion app turned on for Slack or Teams, you're going to have this little option here. And from here, you can select a team. So maybe I wanted to put this to customer success. And from here, I wanted to create my own channel. This is a little hidden feature. I don't know if anyone else knows this, but if you just simply start typing, you can create your own channel. Wow. Ooh. So you can do this, boom, boom, boom. I'm just going to call this sentiment or big wins, whatever you want to call it. Maybe I want to give it an emoji. I don't know if I can do that with channels, but
Really
create your
push
big wins channel.
the demo gods to have a break, huh? If you put an emoji.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. So big wins channel, I just created
I think you need to
within
hit it
that team.
Why you
Oh,
have
I need to hit it twice.
Yeah.
There you go. I think it's already created. But within actions, again, we're filtering, we're sending it to a team, but we want to do more. We want to add multiple actions to this ticket. So let's say excellent sentiment. We can then, in fact, generate a recap template for my sentiment analysis. I can, in fact, go in. Maybe if you're reporting on sentiment and you want to celebrate big wins, you could maybe change the queue or the service board or team. I don't know. We have status options, obviously. So again, on the reverse, maybe sentiment falls below a certain threshold and it's poor sentiment. Well, you want to escalate that, right? So why not just create and duplicate this flow on the reverse side of things and then change that status to, or that resource team or that queue to an escalation team or what have you. So that way you can act on those
That's a
much quicker.
great idea. So instead of having a QA for each negative, like to go through all of your tickets, you're saying if the sentiment, if it goes to closed on this board and the sentiment is very bad, you can reopen it and tag the manager.
Yeah, exactly. So again,
That's an
you know,
awesome.
there's lots you can do with flows, right? We have a lot of PSA actions built in with these flows. It's real time, it's snappy. Once that filter criteria is met is the moment we trigger that flow. So real time sentiment, real time flows, boom, 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 you're alerted. So again, your staff doesn't necessarily need to work out of inbox or work out of the PSA. We don't care. We can route that straight to a channel and notify your marketing team, notify your customer success team. You know, there's so many avenues here with this companion app. So there you have it.